Dawson's Rambles.
Hey YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. This is going to be a really quick theory video based off of these are uneven and it's bothering me. Theory video, why does that bother me? Go. It still bothers me, but I'm gonna keep going. Theory video based on the recently aired in the US Dino Team Up Grid Connection, which as you know aired quite a while ago in the UK, but you know, it just came out here, and when rewatching it during the US airings, there was something I specifically noticed for a theory video, which I thought would be interesting. Now this is a little far-fetched, and I get a feeling the writers probably didn't care that much to make this mean anything, but I thought it would be interesting to know. So this is about the idea of how and where Jason summoned the other Dino Rangers from. So, just a brief recap in case you forgot. The series started in 1990. Well, so what happened was, Devin was being an idiot, he got hit by a meteor, he brought the meteor to this grid thing, and the grid turned it into a Tyrannosaurus power coin that summoned Jason from wherever he was, and then later Jason used that coin to summon the rest of the Dino Rangers that weren't there with him. The rest of his MMPRs, sans Tommy, and the Dino Thunder Ranger, sans Tommy again, and White Drago Ranger. So that's what happened. And you know, at the time, and what probably happened is he just like with Jason, they were summoned from wherever they were at the time. However, earlier in the episode, back when Devin was being a little butt, it's like, I only want to play video games because the writers need to teach a lesson for this episode. Keeper was explaining the Morphin Grid to him, and he says it connects all Rangers through time and space. And I thought that was interesting that they said that specifically, and it made me think, you know, what if Jason didn't summon the MMPR and Dino Rangers from 2019, 2020, wherever they were on their Earths at that moment? What if he summoned them from different times? Now, I'm gonna assume, and I still think Jason probably just came from, you know, 2020 or 2019 or whatever. A lot of people were confused and thought Jason was from another Earth, but Beast Morphers is supposed to take place on the main Earth. I think they just portaled him there, and I said that in the review, that it's kind of like if you watch The Flash, how Vibe can vibe to other Earths, but he can also vibe to Starbucks on his Earth if he wants. So I think that Jason is from the main Earth, just in case there's anyone confused about that yet again. But anyway, I thought it would be interesting because he specifically mentioned time and space. What if he summoned those Rangers from different times in their history? Mainly because, honestly, the idea of them having their powers back and all that didn't bother me. We're way past that point. It's just something that happens. You know, somebody was shown to be in those suits in Legendary Battle. But the line that bothered me was the Dino Thunder Rangers saying, we're going back to Reefside. Which just didn't make sense. I mean, who knows? It's been a long time since 2004. Maybe there's the threat there and the Dino Rangers moved back. But last we saw them, you know, they finished their mission and they all went separate ways. Their powers have been restored, obviously, since then, but it just seemed weird in like a way that they're like, hey, we're paying attention to continuity by saying Reefside, but in reality, it's something that a nitpicky fan's gonna be upset about. But anyway, I was just thinking about the fact that that line bothered me. So I was thinking that would actually be kind of cool, and it would create less problems with that if Jason somehow summoned the Dino Thunder Rangers from an earlier part in their timeline. And I also thought the idea would have been cool if he summoned the MMPR Rangers from an earlier part in the timeline, mainly because I liked the idea of older Jason working with the younger versions of his previous team. Again, this is all far-fetched, and probably a little surf-fetched too, just based off of that one line, and I honestly don't believe that the writers are capable or cared enough to even think about that. But I thought it was an interesting thing to think about that I noticed this time going through, and I might make it my personal headcanon until it's ever cleared up, if it ever is, just because I kind of dig that idea. It does create also some more questions of like, okay, why didn't they remember it and all that stuff, but in my headcanon I think it's a cool idea, and it works a little bit better for me in some ways, and I thought it was an interesting concept too, that the Morphin Grid could potentially connect Rangers through time. And that could open up possibilities, probably not for the show, because we're going to be doing a reboot universe, and then, you know, this universe has this universe's writers. So, but maybe in the comics, that could be something cooler to explore. Rangers traveling through time to each other through the Morphin Grid, or even sort of being able to speak to each other through time or be connected. You know, a Ranger now being connected to a Ranger from 100 years ago. So, you know, I started thinking about all this cool stuff and potential for it, and I just wanted to put that out there. But what do you guys think? Do you think Jason actually summoned the Dino Rangers from a different point in their timeline, or do you think they were just from present day, or which do you prefer of those two? Let me know in the comments as always. Until next time, like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell so you can get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.